Hello and welcome to another episode of KEYPOINT, where we touch on real-life conversations that matter. Today we are turning our focus to one phenomenon that we experience, but we rarely openly talk about it. That is human toxicity. Now, it is something that can happen in our homes, in our family, workplaces, among even ourselves. But there is always either a stigma or that feeling of not being able to talk about it. So to help us dive into this conversation, I have with me Nadia or Nedem Mam, who is an actor and a filmmaker. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Jerry. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
I'm also good. Thank you for having me.
Great. And I'm moving to Mr. Daniel Agbelebelewu, who is a CEO and entrepreneur, Penso Door and Nukusime. Thank you for joining us. It's been a long time, so
very long time.
We are glad you are back.
Nice to see you too.
Thank you very much as well. And then we have Mr. Prince Mali. He's a man with so many caps, but today I'm just going to stick with consultant in community wellness and ethics. He's been one of our very loyal guests, so we appreciate you for coming with us.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for welcoming me.
Now, this conversation is going to be a bit controversial or a bit debative in the sense that, unfortunately, we have only one woman against three men. So, but I'm sure she's tough enough to have a tough skin in this conversation. I will start with Mr. Prince on this one. When we talk about toxic people or toxic behavior, what do we actually mean?
Okay, thanks very much for this question. It's a very great topic. When we talk about a toxic person, is someone who consistently or frequently harm other people's behavior, or the spiritual being or emotional state, or even physically. And it comes through manipulation. It comes to these manipulating people, controlling people, bullying people, undermining people's ideas. And toxic person often react based on some situation. It can be intentional, unintentional, or even situational. Okay. For instance, when you take somebody who undermine your idea during a meeting, he's doing it on a purpose, intentionally. Okay. For instance, someone who is not healed from past traumas can react or aggress you verbally, and we talk about unintentional toxic person.
Okay, thank you for
unintentional reaction.
We'll come more deep into the intentional aspect and then the thereabout of it.
Exactly.
So, Miss Nadia, what is your understanding about
Jerry, first of all, I want to find out something from...
Okay, go ahead.
You said the example you gave about the meeting or office something. Yeah. If I don't align with your idea, does it mean I'm a toxic person? No.
Maybe it could be in the sense that you're trying to undercut the person.
Yeah,
not necessarily.
It is done on a daily or frequently.
Okay,
frequently.
If you say frequently, then I give that to you.
I'm sure she's the one who's sort of criticizing people.
Yeah,
so she's
really like it. Yeah.
No, I don't. But just I wanted that to be made clear. That you do not always have to agree with your colleague, but that doesn't mean that you are being.
So you are right.
Yeah. Okay, for me, I think a toxic person is anyone that behavior upsets you, causes you pain.
Yeah.
Okay. So there has to be harm, there has to be pain. CEO. Normally they tag CEOs as tough people, so I'm hoping they will not say you are toxic.
Oh, I can't be toxic to myself, but maybe I could be toxic to someone else.
Okay, I agree.
To me, toxic behavior refers to attitude, actions, and communication patterns, emotionally harmful, that causes damage to third parties or others.
So in summary, there has to be a harm, there has to be a pain, there has to be an action that is not going in favor of the person.
Emotionally, physically, or psychologically.
Now, he gave an example, Prince gave an example early on, and then Nadia asked for clarification. So this brings me to my very second question. How do you identify if you are a toxic person or if it is coming from a different person? How would you be able to identify it?
Okay, talking about the identification, we have the causes and the signs.
Okay.
Talking about the causes, someone who is not healed from past traumas, because there are people that have been abused since childhood, and due to that, they found it very difficult to respect people, to live correctly or properly with people in the community or in society. Even when that person is working in a company or in an organization, it's very difficult to hang around with these kind of people. You see that, and also it is due also to the toxic environment. Okay, when you grow up in an environment where it's very difficult to respect people, it's very difficult to be loyal to people, for instance. It's very difficult to bully people. So it's due to this aspect. Talking about the signs, somebody who is very manipulative, okay? They are very manipulative. They are very aggressive verbally. Or they use tricks. Even they plan intentionally in order to harm you, in order to cause you pain. Emotionally, physically, or even spiritually. Yeah.
So examples tend to go towards when it is done intentionally. But I think on my next question, we'll touch a bit on probably the unintentional part as well. So, Mr. Daniel.
Okay, so talking about the signs, I can say guilt.
Guilt, okay.
Guilt, like when something happened, you feel sorry. You feel sorry and you blame yourself for the whole thing most of the time. So it depends. Someone may be toxic to you. You can see it from the perspective that the person causing the toxicity and you receiving I'm talking
about the victim.
You feel the guilt. And my big brother just mentioned manipulation. If you feel manipulated, then you can see there's a sign of toxicity there. Okay. And someone who is toxic will manipulate you and make you feel guilty and feel sorry for any action that. If I may give a little example, there are some people, for instance, you ask me something and I'm not able to provide. You are very, very wicked. I saw him spending money, he get the means to provide, but he won't do it. He's a wicked guy. So you too, when you hear such comments, you feel like,
knowing very well that's not the truth actually.
Yeah, but if it keeps coming in, you ask yourself, am I that wicked?
Yeah, you begin to, I think confidence may also go low in that instance.
That's what I can put on ground for now. You keep going and you see what will come out.
So, Miss Nedem.
Yeah, I kept laughing throughout because he's right. And then I think also self-awareness can help you to know if you are a toxic person yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. So because if people keep telling you are a difficult person or you are this and that, at some point you have to ask yourself, am I really like that? Or what are the things that I do that make people talk about it? Maybe you might be a toxic person without knowing.
But is it also possible for you to be toxic necessarily towards yourself but not towards other people?
Of course, when you are looking down upon yourself, you are being toxic towards yourself. Yes.
Exactly. Now, okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to add a small thing. And in our society, if people start talking good about you every time, you need to think twice.
Why? You could just be naturally good.
Why do you have to be too easy?
That's a food for thought.
If people are saying you are too difficult, so I ask the question, why are you supposed to be too easy?
Yes, you see, to answer you, when you do that questioning yourself, you find out rather the people, toxic people that are trying to make you feel like you are the toxic one. Because when you keep telling me I'm difficult, maybe I've set boundaries that I'm maintaining because I don't want you to manipulate me. You might think I'm being difficult. Exactly. Meanwhile, I'm just maintaining my boundary.
Yeah, Mr. Prince, you spoke more in line with the intentional one.
Yeah.
I'm asking the question to find out if sometimes certain actions people do, could it be intentional or unintentional? But at the end of the day, is it something they are ignorant that they are doing, or some people do it specifically just to cause malice?
Yes, exactly. Some people do it on purpose because, for instance, we have also ignorant people. They might not know directly that they are causing harm, or they are causing trouble or pain in someone's life. For instance, they don't know because ignorance also can make you feel that way. You see, so it's important to first of all know yourself, be aware of your action, your reaction. Okay, we call it emotional management. You need to manage your emotions. For instance, somebody who does not know how to control his behavioral pattern or emotion can cause wrong or harm people without not knowing. Okay, and there are also people who do it intentionally. Okay, and those who do it intentionally are very calculative. So it's like they sit down at home during the night to plan. When I come at work this morning, the way I will be speaking to that person will be different. So they do is during a period of time. They do is progressively without you knowing it. Okay, it may be during a whole year, and at the end they are aiming a result. So these kind of people are very dangerous. Those who are very calculative in manipulation are very dangerous. So we need to be aware of these kind of people. So there are ignorant people and malice people.
So the intentional people you are talking about, for instance, I sit home and say, okay, if I come to work today, I'm going to do this and that on purpose. What make me decide to do that?
Yeah, because, for instance, some people want to obtain something from you, but they don't know how to proceed. They can get you during your weak moment.
So
when you are,
action also trigger my reaction towards them being toxic to them.
I think what he's driving at to say, the person who is toxic can decide to plan how he's going to cause you to respond.
And I'm asking you, what will make me decide to do that?
It's because you are a toxic person, just as
what makes someone toxic?
When, for instance, you are very tough, okay? That person has that difficulty to obtain something from you.
So they have to find ways to manipulate it. So they can get you
during your weak moment. When you are, for instance...
Let me help you. Let me help you. You see, some people are result-oriented.
Yes,
They will use any means to get whatever they want. Whether they are using the right way or the wrong way. Their goal is to attain the objective, get whatever they want.
Does that make me a toxic person?
No, not you, the one they are exercising it on, but the one bringing the plan.
Yes, the one bringing the plan. Does it make that person a toxic person?
He did say when it is something
result-oriented person.
Yeah, they are result-oriented, but the end.
Why don't you also make efforts to be that result-oriented?
No, but the end.
Let me clarify this more.
Go ahead.
Like, if we say someone is result-oriented, I'm not talking a positive side.
The negative side.
The person is result oriented in the sense that even he knows maybe you won't be able to afford what he is asking for.
Yes.
But he will try to manipulate you for you to feel sorry for him and get him whatever he wants.
It's like someone who
intentional. He mentioned someone may be toxic intentionally.
But I'm doing that on purpose. I want something.
Yeah. But it's a toxic trait actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine, for example, you know someone is not talkative, but the person actually brings contributions, whatever is in a meeting or an activity.
Yes.
But you probably by leaving home, whether to whatever mood you are in, you come and then your specific purpose for that is to cause that person to talk, to respond, to get out of their shell. But the action you are causing is not in the positive light. I don't know if you get it. So the person can make contribution to whatever you are doing, not necessarily without having to talk a lot. Some people just sit quiet in a meeting. When people talk, they say 1, 2, 3, and that is what makes sense. You know the person is not talkative, but you are pushing the person.
I'm pushing saying things. I want a result from you.
But the mechanism is not positive.
Yeah.
Toxicity can't be positive. It has to be negative. So it means the means you are applying is not going in line.
I'm not agreeing on the fact that me doing that on purpose.
So what, in your estimation, what can make somebody's action or toxic action intentional or unintentional?
Yeah.
If I answer this, I know you are going to say.
But we would want to know. We would want to know.
Of course, if I'm making the other feel uncomfortable, that means I'm being toxic to the person.
Yeah,
so you do agree with that?
No, I don't want to.
Okay, let's move away from that.
I haven't put down my own.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, it is a lifestyle to some people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it depends on where they were brought up.
Sure.
Yes.
Some society, the place they live,
Yeah.
it is a lifestyle for them. You know, they can be manipulative to get through their ways. So it can.
So do we blame them if, like, maybe I'm brought up in a ghetto where, you know, everything that before getting it, I know since childhood that I have to be that way to get it?
No, we are not blaming them.
It comes from somewhere. We are just trying to expose the action. Not necessarily victimize the person. We will probably get to stages where, which is probably why the question intentional and unintentional. It is true that you can be brought up in a way at a certain stage, you learn to go away from that. And sometimes it becomes so innate in you that sometimes it's like an automatic reflection.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But when you said yourself earlier, when somebody keeps telling you that, then you have to do self-evaluations, which is something I think is crucial for us to do. Now, definitely whether it's intentional or unintentional, ignorant or whatever the case is, there are always long-term or impact that it has on people.
Yeah.
Both the one that is being toxic and the victim as well. So, let me start with Mr. Daniel on this one. What are some of the long-term effects or impact you feel toxicity can have on either the victim or the one that is being toxic?
So to cut it short, the victim, the person can lose self-esteem. Because any time you lack that trust and you cannot do anything by yourself, and you will get addicted to the habit. For instance, if someone is manipulating you, it's not easy to quit. Even if the person stop manipulating you, sometimes you will be feeling that the person should come and manipulate you, but it makes you feel okay. You'll get addicted to it. So I can put down these two examples for the meantime.
So I'll move to Ms. Nedem.
I can also add to what he's saying that it can let you go into deep depression. Yes.
I think depression is not something people really consider. Maybe something they feel as an African, there's nothing called depression.
With this stress we go through every day, we do. Just that we are not aware, that we do not even call it depression, as you say in our society. We do not know what it means to say I'm feeling depressed and all that. But low self-esteem comes with what?
Depression, definitely.
Yes.
So, Mr. Prince, okay, if you want to add something, let me get back to him first.
Yeah, talking about the long-term impact, we have poor management of habit, poor habit, and also poor management of emotions. So it's very difficult for these kind of people. They need to learn about emotional intelligence. They need to be re-educated. So education is the way to it. So some people really need to be taught. So when you are teaching these kind of people how to manage their emotions, how to maintain a very good habit, because it's something that is taught in real life, in families, in a company. So they need to be re-educated, because without it, it will be very difficult for them to change their behavioral patterns.
Okay, I'm going to kickstart with you on the next question before I get to Mr. Daniel.
Okay.
I just wanted to add something.
All right,
I thought they will bring it out.
Okay.
You know, in the long term, people also get traumatized.
Trauma, and it lasts longer.
We end up creating demons, like demons in flesh. Like you create a being, somebody, for instance, he go through some trauma, he ends up becoming a psychopath. He will do things that you cannot even imagine. You will say, is this person okay? But it's because of this effect on him that leads to all these kind of things.
Yes, some of the suicide cases we have also are also result of all this.
Now, you did mention earlier on about some people, they can't do away with it, even if the one who has abused them or who exercised the toxicity on them is no more doing it. It brings me to my question. Maybe I'll start with you instead on this one. Why is it so difficult for people to leave toxic relationship or toxic environment, or just let go and maybe, like you say, re-education, start afresh? Why is it difficult?
I will ask you, why is it difficult for Rasta men to stay away from ganja?
Or maybe, with Rastafarianism, it could be a culture to some people.
No, it's not a culture. It's a daily habit. It's like a ball of snow. Once it's set rolling, it must increase. So it ends up becoming a lifestyle. If you are used to it, it becomes a lifestyle. When you see something different apart from it, you don't see it as normal.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. For a ghetto guy, he knows, he finds his way around ladies, get what he wants, and leave them. And he take himself as a smart guy.
I mean, those times when you're among boys, that's a yo-yo. So
he will go somewhere, and when they are discussing, he will be bold enough to bring that. He's a tough guy. He can do this. He's causing havoc and harm in the lives of people by he feels confident doing it. He gets addicted to it. It's like you take alcohol, 1 glass for the first day, 2 glasses for the second day. You end up sleeping in the bar without knowing.
Examples are humorous, but they're equally something that needs to be paid attention to. So let me come to you on this one.
It's very difficult for people to be emotional, to move away from toxic relationship because first of all, there are people who have deep connections, emotional connection with their sources. Because it's very difficult to be detached, to walk away from the place or the environment you grew up. You have histories with people. It's very difficult. And there are people who need to learn how to be detached emotionally because it's not the end of your life when you are separated or you walk away from toxic relationship. You will find more better relationships. So also there are people who gain profit from this kind of relation. For instance, you are a very toxic person and you used to earn a lot of money in your business. With people,
so money
you are doing business with people, but you used to benefit from them.
Okay.
So some people find it very difficult to let go of this kind of behavior because of what they are benefiting from people or from their places.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, Miss Nedem?
Yeah, the addiction makes it become a norm for you. So walking away is very difficult because for you, it's like starting over. So the fear of the unknown makes some people also hold on to something that is not there anymore. How to start over. They begin to question themselves and all that. And it's not easy because first of all, you have to identify, you have to know that you are addicted to something.
Okay.
Before you can decide to choose. It's a decision you have to make that I want to heal myself. I want to walk away to feel better. If you don't know that you're addicted to something, you cannot start the healing process.
Now, what I could just add one or few things before. I think sometimes too is the whole package of investments you do into whatever you are doing and the person. And at times where I believe there's a little bit of, maybe there's no moral gap. I don't want to go into the side of religion because it might conflict with different people. But if you have maybe low moral standards, which could still be because of the environment you grew in, the effects of the toxicity that you've witnessed or you've accessed on other people.
I want also to mention hoping and fear. Because there are some people, they hope that this kind of people might change. Hoping that tomorrow it might be different.
They hold on to something that is no longer there.
That's no longer there. You see that? Also, there are people who fear. They fear losing people.
Mr. Daniel disagrees.
You cannot do without manipulation or toxic behavior without mentioning religion.
Are you sure?
They will make you feel like you are going to hellfire. Like the way they will put the whole situation, the ideas they will build behind it, and they will build around the emotion. It will make you feel less of yourself. Feel like you are the sinner. like we can't talk about this subject without mentioning the religious aspect. And for instance, she gave a very nice example. I like some, and I'll give a concrete example. You can see a lady being in a 7 years relationship, abusive one, but because of religion, the person will not come out. You get the whole thing.
I get the idea.
And they will tell you God doesn't like, divorce, and God put you two together, for better for worse. But you are feeling pain.
Yes, and then also when it comes down to family, also they will tell you you have to stay in there. That's how my mother went through the same thing. And then you also have to just be there, keep quiet, and then suffer it. No.
Okay, definitely with all that we've said, I know that there are some people that maybe through the experiences they might develop that strength to be able to start the process themselves. Other people too, they may need to talk to other people, family or friends or therapists or consultant, whatever, for them to start the process. But before we get to the place where they can start, maybe if you have a friend, a family member who, we already spoke about the sign, who is exhibiting things or signs that shows they are in a toxic environment or with toxic people, what are some of, maybe just one each if possible, of those signs you can see to understand or see that, this person is trying to heal him or herself? Maybe the person started doing something, started speaking in a way. What is just one sign you can see, okay, this my brother or my sister is trying to move away from a toxic relationship? I will start to Mr. Daniel.
The first sign is that the person will stop being foolish.
How do you stop being foolish?
And let me explain it through this channel for you to understand better. Some people, they think when you say no, it is bad. They feel bad telling someone no. But when you stop being foolish, you will know that saying no is just an answer to what you can and what you can't.
Exactly.
You get it? So the time the person can realize that, oh, this is what I can do, I cannot do this, so I can say no. Even if the person will feel pain, it is for my own good. Exactly. Because I will not, at the cost of my joy, happiness, and well-being, I will not say yes and later inside room feeling pain. So if you see someone you have been manipulating, you say, oh, I need this. If I don't get it, this will happen. And the person give you money. One day you go and the person say no. You try all your strategy. The person still say no. Then you see the person is
actually starting to heal.
He's setting boundaries, what he can support and what he or she can't support.
Okay, Miss Nedem.
Yeah, I also say when you see someone that starts begin to open up, things that the person were not saying before, the person is now seeking help. Okay. You should know that it's a starting of.
Mr. Prince?
For somebody to walk away from a toxic relationship, first off, there is what we call self-awareness. So you are the one who sets the limit. You decide whether people might respect you or not. You have to set boundaries. Okay, before entering into a relationship, you have to fix your limit. So you say to that person, okay, this is what I like. If I say no, you have to understand this way. So most of the time, we don't know how to set boundaries. We don't know how to discuss with people. So it's very important. So when you know yourself first, you have to help people knowing you. That's the first step. You know yourself and help those who are around you to know your behavioral patterns. So and they will find it very easy to respect your point of view and to obey whatever thing you are doing.
Now, still on your aspect of setting the boundaries.
Yes.
Sometimes people still set the boundaries. I mean, healing is a process. Let me just stress that first of all.
Exactly.
They set the boundaries, but they get to a point, and then maybe because of the boundaries they've set, people are now being withdrawn from them, are no more engaging with them. Then they feel like, oh, maybe my Chinese were too high, is it too tough? Then they start going back recessively into the abuse again. So they start saying the yes now instead of the no, and then they start saying, oh, maybe I'm being too hard, that is why it is that way. How do you set the boundary without maybe other people thinking you are being too hard or you are emotionally detached from them?
Okay, this is a very critical point, very critical one. So to set the boundary, you need to also know how to set that boundary wisely.
Okay. Do you need to take into account maybe the feelings or the, consent of the other people before setting that boundary?
Yeah, it also comes with maturity.
Okay.
You need to know the level of maturity of this kind of people, because when that person is immature, you find it very difficult to hang around with this kind of people. So, for instance, you are a very mature person. You know how to control your emotions, your behavior, and you know that this kind of friend is not very mature. So you need to even teach that person. There is a teaching process. So as you mentioned that healing is a process, you need to teach this kind of people on how to grow emotionally, how to become mature persons. Because when they reach your level, they will find it very difficult to understand you. Most of the time, people do not understand us because they are not yet at our level. So for us to understand, or they need to know what we know and to understand what we understand. So it will be very easy for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ms. Nedem, how do you create that boundary without it looking as if it's like, I don't want to use the word logic because I often use the word logic when I'm making my point. Yeah. People feel when you set boundary, you become too logic. There's no more emotions involved. Yeah. How do you set that boundary without people feeling like you are now emotionally detached from them and then you have a strong Chinese word?
Okay, so setting boundaries and then maintaining them, you don't become distant from the people, or you don't shut your emotions down.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when you shut your emotion down, that means you become hard, as you are saying it, and you might break under pressure. But when you are being resilient here, in this case, through healing, you become resilient, meaning you accept the situation, you are working on it, and you are ready to navigate through every challenge that comes. That makes you regulate your emotions. So when you are telling somebody no and the person is finding that, oh, you are being hard and all that, you don't let that trigger you, then you go back to doing what you stopped doing. That's the person own this thing. You have to be selfish when, I would prefer to say it, you have to be selfish when it comes to your healing process.
Okay.
Because if you want to listen to those that are around you, that are trying to push you, adding negativity to your life again, you might go back to the lifestyle that you are walking away from.
Yeah. So first of all, you need to accept, work, regulate, and then the healing goes on. Okay, Mr. Danny.
To cut it short, you just build your persona. You let people understand this is who you are, this is what you can take, and this is what you cannot take. So if they are good to go with your personality, they come along. But at the end of the day, don't feel sorry or don't feel humiliated like trying to please others. You make yourself comfortable. You breathe by yourself, you know. and you know, your well-being depends on you, and your joy does not depend on what people think about you or say about you. So if you make people happy and at the end of the day
you are not happy
you are not happy, what is the sense of even living?
So Jerry, you choose yourself, you make yourself a priority.
You make yourself a priority.
Somebody there are words that came about some time ago. They say you are narcissistic, you are so and so. See, people self-diagnose sometimes and then they tag themselves.
Jerry, that's why we have different kind of group in the world. You just join one. Even in politics, you get Democrats,
and Republicans.
You get Republicans. So everyone should find him or herself in his or her own class.
I also want to add something. For instance, talking about the kind of information we used to receive. So when someone comes with news information, you need to, okay, I'm not agree. I don't have time to listen to this, because when you allow that person to announce certain kind of information, it will influence your mind. Yeah. There is a saying that says that guard your heart, because your heart is the source of your life. So when you you allow people to bring any kind of information, they will find it very difficult to have access to your life. So it's very important for us to be aware of the kind of information we used to listen to. We need to be selective, very selective.
Very quick one.
With this, I'll take your last word. Yes, I don't disagree.
Well, let me add.
When you finish this, give us your last words.
Okay, so like what I wanted to say is that you need to be kind. Some people understand wrong the whole thing. Yeah. Because you are kind and someone treats you bad, the person might decide not to be kind again. And
it's a difficult thing.
And it is wrong.
Okay.
But you just need to be kind, but you don't have to let people use your kindness against you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that you should apply empathy.
Yeah.
Over there.
So let me take your last words as one before I do the round.
But I figure there's more questions.
No, this one is okay.
Okay, so we are in a society, and many situations are going around us, and people become toxic due to the situations they are going through. Some also, it is a lifestyle for them, and at the end of the day, we need to live in harmony. So my last word on this topic will be for those who are hurt, for them to come out of this whole situation. They may go and see a psychologist, or they need therapy to regain their sanity and reposition themselves well in the society. And I think with that, everything will be okay.
Miss Nedem, she seems to be laughing the whole time.
I like the way he's blunt, and he doesn't go around the bush. He just stays straightforward. Yeah. Okay, so I think as an individual, you should be self-aware of your own lifestyle, and then also self-evaluation as you are going along. Then if you see that something do not make you comfortable, do not give you peace of mind, walk away. Choose yourself over and over again. Make yourself happy yourself.
Yes, to summarize the whole topic, you need to be aware of the law of karma. When you harm somebody, be sure that you'll receive the same thing at the end.
Are you sure?
Be sure. Be sure.
Going scot-free.
Yeah, be sure. Because when you steal from somebody, be sure it will come. Surely.
Maybe they might not steal from you, but something else could be a result of it.
And you will pay for it.
Definitely.
Okay?
Yeah, we don't cheat nature.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it's very important to learn how to grow emotionally. Because we live in a society where we lack emotional intelligence. When we talk about this kind of topic. It's very important to be aware of this kind of topic. Unfortunately for us here in Africa, we don't have this kind of subject in our companies, because it's very, very critical. When somebody leaves for a company, it's due to some toxic people. Not necessarily because the company is not doing well or the company is not taking care of that person, because of this kind of people working for that company. And also, when we have an organization or a company, we need to give this kind of instruction or education to our employees around us, because when they know how to work together, it is very important for them to work in harmony. And when you work in harmony, prosperity comes in.
Thank you very much.
So that's,
Our lady wants
he's
to
very
wrap up.
right. I think the head of the companies also should do their work, because last 2 months I worked out on a company because the environment was toxic for me, and our boss was not. I don't know if he's aware or not, but I had to choose my own sanity. I said I can't do this. I can't work with these people.
Okay. So thank you very much for honoring the invitation, Mr. Prince Mali, Mr. Daniel Agbebleu, and Nedemam, for these very important submissions you've made on the topic. We could have gone more, as Mr. Daniel said, but we are restrained with time, so we'd have to wrap up. Now, before we wrap up, there's one thing I want you to remember. You should remember that we all carry stories. Some are of healing, some are unfolding. And when it comes to human toxicity, the journey isn't all about calling out the pain. It is about finding our way back to emotional safety, clarity, reclaiming our peace and wellness, and also self-respect. So this ends the episode of the KEYPOINT for this week. Stay tuned, keep watching, stay tuned, bye-bye.